You're in a public restroom stall right now in your mind, and there's a 2-inch gap on both sides of that door. Someone could see you. You already know this. Nobody has ever explained why it's like this. It's not a manufacturing accident. It's not a cost-cutting oversight nobody bothered to fix. It is a fully deliberate, code-mandated design choice. And once you know why, you will never unknow it. And here's the part that will actually bother you. Most of the rest of the world doesn't do this. European, Japanese, and Australian public restrooms routinely have floor-to-ceiling doors with zero gap at all, which means somebody, somewhere, specifically decided that Americans deserve less privacy in this exact scenario. Today we're finding out who and why. Let's start with the least dramatic but most influential reason: money. Public restroom stalls, called toilet partitions in the industry, are almost never custom built. They're mass-produced in standardized modular kits. A partition that runs floor to ceiling needs full-length panels, reinforced framing to support the extra weight, and precise on-site fitting for every single doorway, since ceiling heights vary building to building. A partition that stops 18 inches off the ground and 18 inches short of the ceiling needs none of that. It's the same 3-panel sizes, shipped flat, bolted to a standard support rail. Done. Industry estimates suggest floor-to-ceiling partitions can cost 20 to 40% more per stall to manufacture, ship, and install than the gapped standard version most buildings use. Multiply that across every restroom in every office building, school, stadium, and airport in the country, and you start to understand why nobody's rushing to fix your dignity. Cost isn't the only reason, and it might not even be the main one. The gap also serves a genuine safety function that becomes obvious the moment something actually goes wrong inside a stall. If someone collapses, has a medical emergency, or is unresponsive inside a locked stall, staff or emergency responders can see feet, check for movement, and assess the situation without breaking the door down first. Which sounds dramatic until you remember that bathrooms are statistically one of the more common locations for a medical emergency to happen completely unnoticed by anyone else. The gap also discourages illegal activity and vandalism, since anyone inside knows they can be partially seen and heard at all times. It's a deliberate, mild loss of privacy in exchange for accountability. It is essentially the architectural equivalent of a parent saying, "I can still see your feet," through a closed bedroom door. Deeply effective, slightly humiliating for everyone involved. There's also a much less glamorous, much more practical reason: airflow. A public restroom with dozens of enclosed stalls and no ventilation gap becomes a genuinely unpleasant place very quickly. The gap lets air actually move through the space instead of getting trapped in a sealed box with you and your decisions. This is genuinely doing you a favor. The elevated gap at the bottom also makes cleaning dramatically faster. Custodial staff can mop and hose down the entire floor in one continuous motion without opening or working around each individual door. Floor-to-ceiling doors mean stopping, opening, cleaning, closing, repeating for every single stall, every single time. The gap isn't just about you. It's about someone else's incredibly repetitive workday. So if all of this makes sense, why doesn't the rest of the world do it the same way? European, Japanese, and many Australian public restrooms commonly use full floor-to-ceiling stall doors with no gap at all. Somehow an entire continent figured out how to keep bathrooms safe, ventilated, and cleanable without making everyone feel like they're testifying in a very small, very damp courtroom. Some of the difference comes down to building codes that developed independently, different manufacturing industries with different standard products, and, frankly, different cultural expectations around public privacy, which means the gap isn't a law of physics. It's not required. It's a regional habit that stuck around because changing an entire country's stall manufacturing industry is, apparently, a bigger task than just living with it. There's also a historical thread worth knowing. Early American public restroom partitions in the mid-20th century were heavily influenced by institutional design standards, the same visibility-focused logic used in prisons, hospitals, and schools. The underlying philosophy in all of those settings was the same: minimize places where someone can be fully unseen and unsupervised. Your bathroom door gap has distantly the same design DNA as a hospital ward. As that manufacturing standard became the default for American partition companies, it simply stuck, repeated in blueprint after blueprint for decades, long after anyone questioned where it originally came from. Is this changing? Slowly in some places. Higher-end buildings, some newer airports, and privacy-focused renovations have started installing floor-to-ceiling partitions as a premium feature, which tells you almost everything you need to know. Privacy from strangers in a bathroom is, in the current market, considered considered an upgrade, you pay extra for. For most buildings, though, the standard gapped partition remains the default, driven by the same combination of cost, code compliance, ventilation, and decades of manufacturing inertia we just walked through. So the gap in that door isn't an oversight, and it isn't random. It's cost, safety, airflow, cleaning efficiency, and about 70 years of institutional design habit, all stacked into a 2-inch strip of visible daylight. None of that will make it feel less exposed the next time you're in there. But at least now you know exactly who to mentally blame while it's happening. You're not being watched by anyone specific. You're being watched by 70 years of American manufacturing standards, which is somehow both better and worse.
Subscribe for more videos like this.